I don't understand why people have treated me like I've got coronavirus. I am back with another one of my serious videos. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and to help me improve my videos, please join my Patreon. So I am back with another pretty serious video. I wanted to talk about different kinds of inclusion. So I was thinking about writing my script and planning this video, and I managed to narrow it down to 3 types. Only one of them is the good kind. And I think the thing that's most interesting about these types and experiences I've had is that they all came from adults and adults I worked with when I did theater. The first is what I'll call minimal inclusion. The first company I worked with was billed as educational for kids, so if your parents were willing to pay tuition, you were cast in the shows, meaning they couldn't tell me that I couldn't work with them. So instead of including me and letting me learn things about theater, I was included just enough. One example is they did a 1-week camp and we had small mock tryouts for characters. I really wanted this one part, but I would have been perfectly content with an ensemble part. Instead, they created a narrator part that didn't exist before. It wasn't anywhere on the character sheets, but it was written in after I auditioned. So for the whole camp, I sat in a corner and did nothing because I only had a few made-up lines, and during the performance at the end for the parents, I basically acted as an audience, sitting in a chair, read my 3 or 4 lines, never getting to sing any of the songs, and just watching everybody else have a lot of fun. Basically, they included me because they had to, and it really sucked because they didn't let me do anything. The second kind is as a diversity card. The second theater company I did shows with, they had auditions, and all of the ones I tried out for, I made. I even auditioned for their traveling competition team, and so did one of my other friends with a disability. And I was so excited because I thought, this is awesome. They're gonna appreciate me, they're letting me do stuff, this is amazing. But my friend, even though we were the same age, we got separated into 2 different age groups. We were put in the front of the performances where the judges could see us, and it was pretty obvious that we were just there as bonus points to win the competition. Like, look at us! Look how accepting we are of these poor little kids! So even though I got to be included in everything and really had a lot of fun, I was included for the wrong reasons, and I didn't want to be some trophy in a display case. Really hit home when the very next week auditions were held for the next show, and one of the characters, one of the comedic characters, was physically disabled, and neither of us was given the opportunity to even read the part. The third kind is the good kind, being included completely for the right reasons and being treated just like everyone else. The third theater company actually encouraged me to do as much as I could, and if they wanted me in a scene but how much I was doing was too much, they'd find a way to make a break without me being cut out of the scene. They pushed me to do as much as I could, and I learned a whole lot. There were actually a couple times where I was like, I don't think I can do this, I just went through this big scene and I've had to do a lot, and they're like, no, you're gonna be in this scene, okay? We'll just get you a chair and get a few other people some chairs and you can just sit with them and it'll just look like part of the scene. I was like, okay. I did have to leave that group because doing both theater and swim was taking a huge toll on my health. The weekend of swimming sectionals, I had 5 performances and I had to go straight from the pool to the theater. I felt horribly sick the last day, so I skipped the last performance and had to drop theater. But I wasn't pushed away like the other 2 places. So that theater company was really good, but also I did this workshop one summer with a director from New York, so like big director. and he was really good, treated me like everyone else. And the first day he said, unless you tell me that you cannot do something, I'm going to assume that you can do everything in this show. And he never mentioned it again, and it was awesome. So those good experiences that I had, they were good, and I learned a whole bunch and had tons of fun because those people told me, I'm going to assume that you can do everything that everyone else is doing. I was talking to my mom about this video, and she told me that when I was little, she tended to split people up into 3 groups, kind of similar to these, based on their reaction to me. The ones who either understood or did their best to understand and treat me like they should and see the value that I had as a person. There was the ones who had the smiles on their faces but would barely look at me and be like, oh, yeah, awesome, like pretend to support me but not really meaning it. And the ones who just didn't give a crap and avoided us and just, we don't care about her. She just fell. We're not gonna help her. She said it was really frustrating in the beginning, and eventually it just made it easier to know who your real friends and helpers were. Just like my video on friends, I don't want this video to scare any parents or anyone with a disability. These experiences were hard. I'm not afraid to say that, especially since these were adults and I was a kid. But even though it was really upsetting and frustrating, I've left those places and it has improved for me. Obviously, this happens from time to time, but when it happens, I just move on and it gets better after that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and help me out by joining my Patreon. Patreon really helps me because I have huge dreams for what I want this channel to look like and how I can help it grow. But as everything does, it costs money and a lot of it. And as a high school senior, I don't have enough money to do what I want to do. So if you join my Patreon, I'll give you shout outs on my channel. And if I get enough patrons, I'm hoping to make some merchandise for you guys. But I don't have much money for that right now. So if you would like to see more on my channel, please become a Patreon. Love you guys. Bye.